but with this case we're alluding to, got the right word there, was the young lady who had a criminal conviction for fraud, and was given a job.
And the brother had a conviction for violence.
Robbery, and that they assess whether minicab drivers can be...
She was in charge of, or she was involved with the topographical knowledge for private hire drivers.
And the ones that failed, she would take away and give to her brother. Yeah,
who would then contact them and fill out the forms for them and then substitute them. So how many private hire drivers are there that are out there that failed their topographical knowledge test?
Loads.
How many haven't got a driving licence? There was one pulled up again the other day that had taken his family member's car and his family member's phone, which I find really hard to believe, because most people, when you go abroad, you take your phone with you, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so he's obviously lending his phone, obviously, he's decided to say he's not, and logged in as him as an Uber driver and gone out there.
I mean, my biggest problem, if I went uptown or anything like that, my biggest concern, my major concern, and this is all during through the Irish insurrection and everything was going off in London, my biggest concern in London was, would I be able to get a night bus home from Trafalgar Square? Would I, walk into... Because they used to go from there, didn't they? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Biggest concern is, will I get the night bus?
Yeah.
There was no other issues I worried about.
Well, you didn't used to worry about getting on a night bus, did you? Because nowadays you wouldn't really get on a night bus, would you?
No. Like the puke bus. It was the vomit comet, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was called the vomit comet.
If you got to New Cross and someone hadn't, excuse me, over the back of your shoulder. No, that's what I'm saying. That was my major concerns.
Yeah, it's like nowadays you're worried about getting stabbed on a night bus, isn't it? Or mugged.
I was stabbed before you even get to the night bus.
Well, yeah, there was that.
Pull out your phone to ring mates, phone without.
Yeah, and a sudden electric scooter comes past and steals you.
And that's without some...
On Twitter earlier of an electric scooter, someone got it out of the back of their car, switched it on, and he started smoking. Yeah. And then it caught light. Yeah. Which is what I've said about these electric vehicles. Yeah. And if it goes up, if that battery shorts out, mate, you can kiss your coneheads goodbye. Yeah,
there's no... most... electrical fires, by isolating it, and normally,
not with them batteries,
but not them batteries.
Remember the old Top Gear when Richard Hammond was crashed that electric car, didn't he? And they left it there for 4. Didn't catch light again.
This is the.
And it kept bursting into flames.
This is the only advice I can give you if you're going anywhere near electric vehicles. If you see the lead and it's got an orange on it, don't touch it. Just don't touch anything in there. In that region and stuff. Anything bit, once they start, they.
It's like that cargo bike geezer that said the bikes are made in Holland for them, and they transport them to London by cycling them here. Do you believe that?
It's not that far.
No, but do you actually believe it?
Listen, it's not.
Listen, we the vans, the diesel vans going around transport.
No, listen.
Are they allowed to be called Boris bikes now?
Horace bikes.
Or are they Sadiq bikes?
But they were never any with him.
It was Ken Livingstone, because who was the most popular vacuum cleaner manufacturer at the time.
Absolutely, and so that's how just things get.
I was reading an article about HP sauce the other day.
How's the Poland?
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. You just ruined my story there, didn't you?
I know, because lots of people know. No, but
Do you know what else it's named as well?
No.
Wilson's Gravy.
Wilson's Gravy?
Because Harold Wilson used to coat his food in HP sauce.
Well, yeah, if you look at HP sauce, if you look at the label, it's actually got a picture of the House of Parliament.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And do you know something about it as well? It is basically only really sold in the UK. It's not sold very many other places in the world.
Really?
And it was made, in the end it was bought by, it was developed by somebody and then sold to somebody else and then sold to somebody else. And in the end, Heinz bought it. Yeah. And it's no longer manufactured in the UK.
How's this thing?
It's manufactured in Holland.
It would be, but to do it in, which is why all these big companies in the manufacturing industry in this country just love a bit of Europe because they get it done cheaper and transport it in.
They've got very good standard of living in Holland.
I know, but
They get very good wages in Holland.
of course they do, but they wouldn't here. That's what I'm saying.
So surely it'd be cheaper to manufacture it
No,
here.
it would be, but the unions and stuff like that, obviously, you know, this is what I'm saying.
I mean, Holland is. I've got to be honest. Holland is one of my favourite countries
I love
in Europe.
Holland.
It's really nice. The people are friendly,
Yeah,
and it's really, really nice place.
Very tall.
What?
I found the Dutch very tall.
Yeah, it's their clogs.
And some of their houses, I mean,
Very colourful.
Anne Frank's house.
Fucking houses?
Yeah.
Done everything.
In
I like
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, yes.
Very German influence on the language.
Yeah, well, it's a generic.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? All around that way. Yeah, very Austrian.
Anyway, we're going to go over and have a listen to our Dropkick Rick for his taxi rank titter this week. And don't forget his appeal to his tits. So send in your joke so he can read it out. I'm going to send him a joke, actually. Are you going to send him a joke?
Yeah, I'll send him a joke. But
Yeah, I'll send him a joke.
if I send him a joke,
Yeah.
it's the way I tell him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's sort of like got to do his Frank Carson bit.
Yeah.
One of my best gags, Frank Carson.
Yeah, so over to Dropkick Rick for this week's taxi rank titter.
Thanks, guys. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so before I crack on with this week's titter, I just want to throw a disclaimer out there. The characters in this joke are purely fictitious. Any resemblance to actual people is purely coincidental. Right, here we go then. So this lawyer, he phoned his very wealthy client, and he says to his client, Boris, I received a telephone call from your wife. He said, and I've got some good news and some bad news. And Boris said to him, he said, well, I'm having a really, really tough day. He said, I don't know if I can handle bad news off the bat. So he said, give me the good news first. He said, well, she phoned me up and she's just invested £5,000 in a couple of pictures, and she to think they're going to be worth around about 15-20 million. Boris went, oh, what fantastic. So astute, that woman. He said, that's absolutely brilliant. He said, this picks me right up. I feel like I can handle any bad news now. So he said, what is the bad news? The lawyer went, well, they're pictures of you with your secretary. Alright, thanks guys, stay safe, be lucky, and until next week.
What? How tune? Simon Bates. I met him, you know, Simon Bates. Stroppy.
Right, I've had a letter from Connor Buckstone, and he says, I'm South London born and bred. My dad's from Bermondsey and my mum's from Plumstead. I spent most of my primary years in Charlton and then moved to Plumstead. I attended the John Rowan School on Westcombe Park Road in Blackheath, and I worked from the age of 9 to 18 in a local garage, so I'm mechanically minded. I also did the management side of things in later years. During my school years and while taking GCSEs, I spent more time working than I did on my exams.
Yeah, same.
On to being a London bus driver, but I only drove for just over a year, because tragically in August 2019, I crushed as a pedestrian between cars, and he says, he needed. My accident services, I've made many more cabbie mates, mainly sector 3 drivers. That's how I got to know Rob Cardwell, the hairy cornflake. Last year, myself and another admin created a Facebook group called Greenwich Road Closures. My main issue at the moment is I need help organising a demo. Me and the other admin are both disabled, and I'm sure you know there's a big risk when it comes to organising one. I live on Greenwich High Road myself, so if you're ever up for Goddard's of Greenwich, because he says he loves pie and mash, he says, then so am I. He says one big problem is I have a wide wheelchair due to being a big guy, so he needs a shop where he can actually get himself into. He says I prefer Menzies, and he gets it from Deliveroo because he boycotts Uber. And he says my dream is to go on the Knowledge of London. He says, however, I'll find out in the next few weeks if my condition allows me to continue driving, or whether it allows him to drive at all. He says as soon as that's confirmed, I'll be doing the Knowledge of London. But obviously he'll need an exception from doing wheelchair jobs. So as you see, the story isn't all a sad one. It's got a happy ending, hopefully, and we hope to see Connor on the Knowledge very soon. And I'm sure if Connor does manage to retain his driving licence and get on the Knowledge, he'll get all of your support in attaining his London cab driver's badge. And Connor's picked a song, so we're going to play Get Lucky by Pharrell Williams.
And that's it for now, guys.